second last episode of the season. We are talking about how to attract everything that you want in life, whether it might be business, money, relationships, anything that you want. And the best person on the episode right now, we've got our co-founder of Tequila High Club, Eddie's back in Bali. What's up, bro?
Namaste, bitches.
Let's go.
Law of attraction, man. Like, this is my shit. People only see me as like business guy, fashion guy, but they don't understand the core of it. It's just me just attracting my businesses, my love life through law of attraction. Mm-hmm. You know, which I discovered through the book. Actually, I didn't read the book yet. I watched the movie, the documentary, The Secret, that opened up shitloads of different possibilities in my life. And since then, I've just been attracting non-stop to a point where I started getting to this rabbit hole of law of attraction, and then I got too deep and went into the Abraham Hicks teaching. Those of you who are a big fan of law of attraction, you would know who Abraham Hicks is. All right, that's a rabbit hole. That's when you get into deep, because like The Secret is very surface level.
Yeah.
When you get into the Wayne Dwyer teaching, it's still very surface level. You get deeper into it.
You can get into the real scientific level of Joe Dispenza as well.
Joe Dispenza, you know, you need to get a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
But those guys, those people go through Abraham Hicks. And she has a massive cult following because her teaching is not sellable. She was interviewed by Oprah, but even Oprah was like, look, I can't film you on TV because it'll freak a lot of people out. I had to interview through audio, through the radio.
Well, let's before we get into all that, because I think we can go real depth, and let's get onto the second last bottle that we got for this season. So we've got this bottle here, which is actually got a lot of risk history. So Casadores, it's a Blanco. They actually started 100 years ago. So in 1922, the recipe first began back in Guadalajara's
Guadalajara,
yeah. And then in 1970s, the grandson. So they used to pass it down from recipe, you know, as they do. And 1970, the grandson actually got to the point to then start a distillery. And then he started creating and building the recipe and building some for the public. So they've actually got 100-year special bottles, which is kind of like the Añejo, but a little bit better with the Reposados. So that's kind of... But
we're drinking the pure shit, the Blanco.
We're drinking the pure Blanco,
Silver,
which a lot of people in the world are now turning to, as Blanco has come out of... I think this is the important thing that people need to know about Blanco. Blanco is now the fastest growing type of tequila for everyone to drink. It's not any Reposado anymore. And this is because...
It's a good mixer, right?
It's a good mixer, but people are now drinking it like whiskey on the rocks. And this is because more tequila companies are coming out with better Blancos. And now the agaves are actually taking time to actually harvest and ferment, etc. So now the Blancos are coming out with a lot better tastes. Before, the Reposados were very, very... popular because it was easy to drink because you had that kind of the richness. But now the distillery process through many different companies are getting better and better and better. And so this is the reason why Blancos are now actually like the top performing tequilas out of all tequilas in the entire world. So I really want to get into this and see what exactly if this 100-year-old recipe is actually worth 100 years. So let's
see if they haven't really fucked it up for the last 100 years if they've perfected this.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers. Oh, very strong.
I smell quite a sweetness to it though. It's strong, but there's a sweetness at the end.
Yeah, the first initial smell was just too intense.
But
it burns.
I don't like that.
It burns.
I don't know what the hell just happened to my mouth just then. I had that reaction because this is what I first tasted. When I took it in, I felt this lemon taste immediately, and it hit me so hard, and then it was very bitter coming through. It didn't feel like there was smoothness until right at the end.
Definitely not smooth. I feel like I'm drinking ethanol, flavored ethanol.
I can't. That's
It's like it's evaporating in the back of your throat, straight to your nasal.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is intense.
Okay, after this, we have to take the shot though, and then
I don't know if I want to shoot
that's
this.
fucking. Don't be a bitch, bro.
All right.
Oh man, that's just not getting better.
No.
It's not getting better. This is the first Blanco we've had all
I think
season.
this is
That's
not to sip. This is to shoot. I want this overdone with.
I mean, this is the Blanco that you would use for like margarita mixes and stuff all the time. But this
That's
is
horrible.
This is
I've had
not.
50, 100 other Blancos better than this.
I never really give. I don't ever. I always give the guest the rating and always let them rate. But I'm giving this a fucking 3 out of 10. Wow, this is. Go on. One last chance. Go on.
I'll be nice. I'll be 4.5 out of 10. I mean, it still has
Okay,
sort of flavor.
that one is a bit
the
better.
last one's like
This one's a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Okay.
The flavor's starting to come in now.
Okay. Now. Okay.
I think the first one is just too intense. As you get used to it,
Yeah.
it gets better.
I think your palate needs to get used to it.
So I feel like this needs to have a catalyst, right? So I think that block of ice will just really smoothen this process, this experience.
Okay.
I think we should try that on the next.
Okay. So that was the first tip, but let's have a shot. And let's see, because remember when you were on the show last time, we had the añejo and we had the shot and it was so smooth and like, what the hell?
It was so smooth.
Okay, so make
I
I'm gonna
want
take
that again.
Hopefully, I can get this to more than a 3 out of 10. Let's go. Remember?
Yeah, not bad.
That for me. That still wasn't as smooth. It did taste a lot better.
Better.
I'd probably give it a.
But I think because we had the sips at the beginning to get our palate used to it.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 10.
I think it's gone up for me now. I think I like it. It's like 5.5 now to 6.
Yeah,
That's 6.
I'm giving it a 4.5.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But that's 4.5. It's 4.5 straight. Let's see. Let's mix some OJ to it, and and then we'll figure out how it actually does taste.
Give me a lot of ice.
Yeah. So, okay, Eddie, we're talking about the law of attraction. Let's start off with
All
you,
right,
bro.
let me go back to how it started, how it all began. Right, I think.
But I want to hear the main thing is like, I want you to tell me how you attracted $1 million. You know?
Yeah, well, we'll get to that, right? So I'll give you a context on how I got into it. Again, like I said, I'll discover The Secret, done by an Australian lady, Rhonda Byrne. It started off as a documentary, and then became a book, which is funny. Normally it's the other way around. We started off as a book, and then became a documentary. Cheers.
To attracting everything that we fucking want.
So, when I started watching the documentary, I was like, this is interesting, because then I started noticing in the past, how I manifested a lot of things. Like the girlfriend that I was dating and, the lifestyle, so I read the book. I mean, I watched the documentary, and the whole thing is about, like, you visualize what you want and the universe will give it to you. All right? So, but that's very surface level. This is what we're going to get into. And people make fun of it. So, like, Eddie, if I just sit on the couch thinking I want $1 million to come to me, I'm like, you're being a dick, because you're just very surface level. But once you understand the process of law of attraction, and it gets easier how to manifest. And we get into like vision board and all that later on. So, basically, people don't even like it. Actually talks about The Secret. Actually talks about it's not just about visualizing, thinking what you want, and the universe is going to grant you, but it's all about the vibration, the frequency. And I look at it like this: your vibration is like a magnet, right? You're a magnet. So you're attracting. If you're a depressed person, you're attracting more depressed people into your life. If you're a happy person, you're gonna attract more happy people. If you're a rich person, you're gonna attract more rich people. That's how I look at it. But a magnet is not gonna attract anything if you're just sitting on the same spot, right? Like it could be a fucking big ass magnet. If you're sitting in the middle of, no, you're not gonna attract anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You need to move around. You need to move around. You need to do things. You need to start something. If you want to be successful in business, then you're gonna start moving around to that. industry. If you want to be successful in love, move around into that industry, get into the dating scene, da da da. All right, so I think that's the trick with The Secret. People, the misconception of The Secret is like, oh, I just don't have to do anything. I'll think about it and it's gonna come to me. It doesn't work like that. And I think that's the biggest tip for me, like what I find out through experience. And as it gets easier, I find like, just change your vibration and tune your frequency. Like, for example, if you're on a radio station, I want to listen to 101.7, for example. If you're hit 101.6, you're going to hit static. You're not going to get that. But 0.1 difference, boom, suddenly you get a clear sound of what the radio station. It's just that 1 degree of vibration makes such a big difference. So to me, the same thing. Like if I want to attract wealth, the girl of my dream, whatever, I need to, first of all, need to dial into that frequency. And that's the hardest thing. It's not easy. I'm still training that. I'm still practicing that. I'm still improving that. So, but this is why I want to tell you the story of what made me a huge believer, right? So 25, I read the book. I keep saying read the book. I watched the movie, the documentary, The Secret, and I started implementing it. So there was a car that I wanted for a long time because, in the movie, in the documentary, it says, if you want to start something small, you visualize the car park that you want every morning on the way to work, and most likely, if you're gonna hit that car spot, the car parking bay, that's a very small vision, right?
Yeah.
And then you start getting bigger. So like, all right, let's put a vision board of the house that you want, the car that you want. So I started putting a picture of the ideal. At the time, I wasn't thinking about Lamborghini and all that. I just like this Honda Type R. I think it's cute as fuck. Yeah, I put it on my wall. And I kid you not, a year later, I got the car. Do you know what I mean? Something happened. I had the finance out of the blue. And I bought the car. Oh, shit. Fuck, ripped that off. And then I had a vision. I want to date, a blonde girl, blue-eyed girl, right? She was like, man, I had that vision. Manifest that. So the trick is you don't create resistance with the universe, right? People kind of like, I want money, and they keep asking about money. I want universe, give me money, give me girlfriend, give me boyfriend, whatever. That's creating a resistance with the universe. So your vibrations is in the lack. You're in the lack mode because you keep asking the universe what you want. That means you're lacking it. That's why you're asking it. But if you start like putting your focus elsewhere, you're in the mode of abundance. If you have a lot of money, you don't ask for money, right? Because you have got so much money coming in. That's why the rich gets richer, the poor get poorer.
Yeah.
And that's it, because they're attracting that, and the rich gets richer because they're attracting that. And I'm a big, big believer of that. So if you're in a situation where you're lacking money and you want to make more money, just living in an abundance mindset, like be more giving. It's a weird thing. Like Tony Robbins actually talked about it. When he was really poor, he had no money left. He ended up buying this kid who's taking his mom for lunch money, his last bit of money. Right, but he's in the abundance mindset. His last bit of cash that he gave away that kid, he's not having that lack mindset. He's having that abundance mindset. And since then, that was his turning point. He talked about it a lot. This turning point where, after that, my life turned around. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very important when you dial into your abundance mindset, which is a practice. This is where I want to get into. Like, I'm a big believer of a law of attraction. And when I was 25, when I started getting that car, the girlfriend, whatever, I'm like, holy shit, I'm ticking off boxes that I thought is impossible to get. I want to be in this. At the time, there was a magazine that I want to be in, like High Beast, Sneaker Freaker. To me, that's unattainable. I want to be on TV. I want to make $1 million. Right? These are the goals that I felt unattainable. So I started visualizing, thinking I already have it. And then suddenly, I'm on a TV show, Jose Ding Dance. Got to dance. And I'm like, oh shit, I just manifested that. And suddenly, I got the car, like I said, right? Suddenly, I made $1 million through my business, the store that I opened up. Do you know what I mean? Because I told myself, I want to make $1 million when I'm 28. And then that happened. Which is crazy but you have to understand, like you have to be in that mindset of you already have it. So you don't just stop asking for it. When you start asking for it and it's not going to come, you're creating resistance with the universe, which Abraham Hicks talked about. If you get into once you start getting this rabbit hole, which I was into, especially the last couple of years, I was so into Abraham Hicks. If you don't know who Abraham Hicks is, she's this lady. Her real name's Esther Hicks. So she channels the whole story. She managed to channel this spiritual being called Abraham. She calls it Abraham because she switched into a different person. She was in an interview with Oprah, and Oprah said, like, look, Esther, I can't interview you on TV because it'll freak a lot of people. Like, can you imagine, like, a lady sitting on a couch? This is what Esther does. It's like 2-second breathing, and suddenly she became Abraham. Her eyes changed into a different look. I'm go, whoa. Usual viewers, they'll freak them out. I'm like, holy shit, is she being possessed? But she, in a way, she's being possessed. She says that, look, the spiritual being Abraham took over and even the way she talks is different. The way she communicates, the way she answers questions is so different. And she's so smart. She can answer you any question. I'm like, Abraham, how do I make $50 million? Abraham, how do I attract the man of my dream? Abraham, the woman of my dream. And she'll answer you. And her teaching is mainly about the vibration. First of all, you need to create that frequency, the vibration.
She's still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She only, funny enough, she only does cruises, right? She was in Australia like last month. I didn't get the chance to see her, which is one day I'll manifest like seeing her because she's super interesting. But people like...
We'll have her on the show.
Yes, please. Abraham Hicks, I would love to have you on the show. But Joe Dispenza, Wayne Dwyer, Bob Proctor,
Tony Robbins.
But Tony Robbins not so much. He doesn't really admit his big believer law of attraction. Tim Ferriss.
I'd love to have Andrew Huberman.
Oh, me too.
Imagine him last talking about like just everything. I love Andrew.
All the hell stuff. Yeah, but like going back to Abraham Hicks, like, you know, she's in the spiritual. I think she's like, to me, she's so deep into this law of attraction where you have to kind of, it's like, do you want to do DMT? You know, to me, like Abraham Hicks is DMT of, you know, the law of attraction, you know, like, oh, you have to be ready to start listening to her teachings. And the teachings basically changing your frequency, like talking about swimming downstream rather than swimming upstream. Meaning, like I said, like you create a resistance by asking for money. Well, she'd just like, let it go. And that's why Wayne Dwyer is a big fan of Abraham Hicks, because Wayne Dwyer is also a student of Taoism. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Taoism. Taoism is this ancient Chinese teaching where if you take away values of certain things, so you no longer put value. For example, like there's no beauty without ugly. Mm-hmm. You know, what's beautiful to you, what's ugly to you.
There's no rich without poor.
Exactly. All right. So you just take things as it is. There's no tall without short. There's no short without vibes. But if you just take things as it is, this tequila is that flavor. I don't know if I like it or not. You know what I mean? But I just accept it. That's what it tastes like. Añejo tastes like this. And Taoism, as I think, is a gateway to Abraham Hicks' teaching, which is like you gotta swim downstream. Just get rid of the valleys, and that's when I get into this fucking rabbit hole, bro. I was just so deep into it.
So we're getting pretty fucking deep here already early on. So let's get into the point where, how did you then, so you went through 25 and going through that, The Secret and loving that as well. But then how did you actually start? Yeah, you done the car and you got the girl, but let's talk it. And then you're going into your business, right? And how do you manifest $1 million in a business? Because it's not like, I want $1 million in the business, but does you manifesting make you then believe in a certain way, which then you attracts certain people, but then gets you into a site of confidence to be able to direct your business to get to that?
Attraction is a funny thing, right? I have a goal and I set it up, and the key is to forget about it, to let it go, detach from that goal. And for example, I want $1 million. And this is why, for me, it's getting harder, because now my goal is getting higher. I'm so attached to that goal, it's so much harder for me to let go. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm still a student to this game. Right now, I'm like, my goal is not $1 million anymore. It's like $1 billion. Right? Like, but now I'm so attached to that idea. I need to learn how to let go from that idea of becoming $1 billion company. Right? And it's still a practice to me day to day. I'm still practicing, trying to like let go of the, you know, like you create friction with the universe. Like your frequency is not dialed in properly. Once you're dialed in, everything should be easy. Everything should come to you. it just be like, again, like swimming downstream. Can you imagine swimming downstream compared to swimming upstream? You're fucking struggling. You're like a salmon going up to your, trying to have that mating season. And I think life, it should be like that. Like, if it's not, like, so many times I set a goal, right? And I thought my route is going to be like this, but then universe took me into a different route.
But I want more detail, and I'm gonna say this.
Let me give you let me give you a context, like proper detail, right? So when I watched The Secret, and I was like, all right, I want to, because at the time there's so many books about how to make $1 million by 30, and I was like, oh, I want to make $1 million by 28.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know how to do it, but that's my goal. Right. So when I was 26, 27, got enough capital either to start a business or buy a house, and ended up going into business. Right. This is, again, I'm not thinking about making $1 million. I'm just doing it. And then this is where universe taking me. All right, Eddie, like, you're going to have a store. I'm like, and that store is going to generate $1 million.
But did that just come into your mind?
No, I didn't think about it, but that was and then after I reached that, I go, holy shit, that's what I had in my vision board.
Okay, so put it into context, because this is where people get lost, and I don't like to go into like too much depth on this, because we've got all different types of people watching. I mean, this fucking show has been about tequila, right? I want it to be, and the reason I'm going to talk about later on Joe Dispenza, because I love the scientific side to it, not the so-called.
It puts me to sleep, to be honest.
Some fucking chick is like got possessed. Like immediately people were going like,
oh,
Eddie, you've lost it already.
Yeah.
So what I want to put this into context of is that, okay, so you've manifested this and you've attracted, and you said, okay, I want to make $1 million by 30, right? You've done
28.
well by 28. And then you've done well with all your dancing and everything like that before, and you've built the brands and stuff, and you made the money. Now you got this money, right? And now you're like, okay, cool, what do I do with it? Now, is this now come along the way? Did you say I want to open up my own shop, or, and I want to revolve this around the attraction, did an opportunity come to you, and then so technically you attracted it, right? Because you've already been manifesting it. So did an opportunity come to you to be able to start your own fashion store
That's what I'm
or
saying.
an
Like,
office?
it wasn't my original blueprint to make that $1 million. I had a different blueprint making that $1 million. I thought I was going to be a dance superstar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was like my pathway. That was my initial goal.
Yeah. But an opportunity came still to you.
And then I got segued into fashion, into the store, right? And then I ended up making
but
$1
how?
million.
How do you segue?
This is why I find law of attraction so interesting.
But that's what I'm asking. I was like, did you get an opportunity? Did someone come to you and go, you should do like a fashion?
No, it didn't come. Someone didn't come to me. But the opportunity, like the money came in out of the blue, right? And then I've been wanting to do a store for a long time, and then that ended up giving like me reaching that $1 million. But I didn't think that was that's how I'm gonna reach that.
Yeah, I
$1
know,
million
but
status.
this is what I'm talking about, right? Because like it to me it's sounding like all over the place. I want bang, bang, bang. Because everyone's getting
that's
lost,
what
right?
I'm saying. It didn't happen like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, I know,
It
but
like throw me sideways.
Yeah, I know, but it threw you sideways, but you still wanted to open up a store, right? Correct. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. So you got the money, and then you're like, how do I make, this, and you thought you were a dancer, but then it took you in to
That's what I'm
the
saying.
store.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is why I'm
Okay.
finding law of attraction so funny, because the route you think you're gonna take, they take you to a different route,
Yeah.
but you end up the same.
You still hit
destination.
the same destination that you want. Yeah.
And the same thing with the relationship thing, right?
Okay, so you said an interesting thing before then that, okay, you usually put something up on the board and then you kind of let it go, right? And you say,
Yeah,
hey, I've
yeah.
written it, I've manifested it, right? So I believe it, it's going to happen, and then it's on the shelf, it's there, it's ready,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get it eventually. So does this mean that people, most people are fixated on one journey and thinking that's the only way they need to go? So now people need to understand that, believe and truly sit down, and there's nothing wrong with you wanting to expand
Yep.
that idea of, like, you said before, $1 million, now you want to make it $1 billion, and now you kind of try and, expand that way of feeling, because it's not a way of thinking, it's a way of feeling
The
$1
way
billion.
feeling, the emotional
Yep.
statement.
But it's okay that, hey, if you're going this way, you might just need to turn, or you might just randomly something come and then you pop to the right, and then that comes
But that's
around.
what I'm saying. It's like it should be a downstream swim, not an upstream swim.
So
like-
everyone should go with the flow then.
Go with the flow. Go with your. Don't try to force it against your will.
Uh-huh.
Joey, the universe has its own way of taking you to the route that you should be taking.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, I almost gone bankrupt 3 times. Right. But I understand the universe taking me to a different journey. For so long, I was fighting and fighting. Like, for example, I used to be the biggest dealer, like stockist for Nike and Adidas in my town. But it was such an upstream swim.
Yeah.
So now I have to let go. I don't need the big giants in my business anymore. So now I'm like swimming downstream and my business just escalated, right? So whatever you do, like just have faith of your destination and just go through the roller coaster. Like a roller coaster goes up, down, loop around the clock and you make you feel sick, but then you're going to end up in a destination. Right? I think that's like the best way, the best analogy for law of attraction. You're always going to hit with a different path. Like the more you kind of fighting it, the more you're resisting it, the more you're gonna not getting it. It's just gonna create more detours. A lot of people like having too many detours, they never end up getting there.
Yeah, I agree on that 100%. If you look at my whiteboard in my room, you'll see like the number that I have on there, right, which is in the billions. But I originally thought, because of what I was in before, like the blockchain stuff, I thought that was gonna take me. I honestly 100%. And you and me both know what's eventuated with that. But now it's like moving on to these different things, and I still feel this is the really interesting right thing is that, and this is what Joe says a bit about this, but other people say, I think Bob Proctor said this as well, is that you never know. You want to have the goal big enough. I think Tony even says this. You have the goal big enough to not know how you're actually going to get there, but if you feel it and that is you. Ever since I was little, I always knew that that amount of money and my lifestyle and what I have to build around it is going to be that. It's never changed. And like things have always changed and you go through these different journeys.
Detours.
But it's not stressing that, okay, cool, that thing's done. But just be happy and grateful that I'm still enjoying everything that I'm doing and things are always going to work out.
Yeah.
You might have to struggle a little bit, but then...
interesting route.
Yeah.
I feel like, like I said, I didn't plan to open up a shop, but that ends up to be where I am now and became my identity now. I'm like a fashion guy now, which is like, I didn't plan to be a fashion guy.
Yeah. I'd actually like to call you a fashion mogul, but...
Yeah, but it's never, like my identity for a long time was I'm a dancer, I'm a b-boy. I never want to be known as a fashion guy.
So what does, okay, law of attraction, right? But how does gratefulness plug into this as well? Because you can attract
this goes back
stuff.
into that vibration of abundance. When you're grateful, you're content. Glass is half full, not half empty. You're content. So when you're saying thank you for this today, that I'm having this tequila and orange juice, spending time with you. I'm back in Bali again.
What are some ways to
because that vibration, like just saying that out loud. If you say that gratefulness, like saying that out loud, I love to say that out loud every day.
You feel that kind of nice little
this vibration. You get this like I'm getting goosebumps already just saying that, right? Because I'm like vibration. I'm like holy shit. Before you know it, like you know what, life is good, and you're gonna attract that. Life is good. You're gonna attract that. Like, do you want to be? I mean, I know so many millionaires and billionaires not happy. I mean, they get where they are, but they're focused. They're attracting that, but they're not really focusing on the happiness. They're not attracting happiness. Right? To me, it's like the main thing. I'm like, I want to attract money and happiness.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I love going back. My biggest mentor. I studied a lot of Tony Robbins, Abraham Hicks, Bob Proctor, Joe Dispenza, Grant Cardone, Ed Mylett, all these entrepreneurs, $1 billion worth. But to me, the number one mentor has always been Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn, yeah. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Jim Rohn has like changed my life. So those of you who don't know who Jim Rohn is, he's like Tony Robbins' mentor. How I discovered Jim Rohn was because Tony Robbins was my biggest idol for a longest time. I want to be doing what Tony Robbins does, help billions of people, help the businesses, do a lot of public speaking, change their lives, cure from bloody suicidal thoughts and attempts and shit. But he always mentioned Jim Rohn. Who the fuck is this Jim Rohn guy? Right? So I went.
Jim was actually Tony's mentor, right?
Yeah. So then I went to another rabbit hole, right? before Abraham Hicks rabbit hole, I went to the Jim Rohn rabbit hole. So you got Tony Robbins here. Jim Rohn is the mentor, and above Jim Rohn is Earl Shoaff, and above Earl Shoaff is Earl Nightingale. Mm-hmm. And those of you who don't know who Earl Nightingale is, he started this whole course, self-development about law of attraction, business development. So before Earl Nightingale, there's Napoleon Hill. Mm-hmm. And Napoleon Hill is the guy who wrote Think and Grow Rich, who made tons of millionaires and billionaires, lots of money. So the book was basically Napoleon Hill interviewing people like Thomas Alva Edison, Andrew Carnegie, the richest man at the time, and he would find what's in common here, what's the pattern, what's the blueprint here. And if you read the book properly, it's a lot of law of attraction. It talks to, it didn't make it, they didn't really market it as like a law of attraction book, but if you read it, it says the universe will grant you this if you have this mindset. Every now and then, in the chapters, it will mention that. But it's like they repackage it as a business book, right? Like it talks about building a mastermind, doing this and this as like a business blueprint. But if you take the underlying core of it, it's a law of attraction book. To me, when I read that, I was like, this is like The Secret, but on steroids. Mm-hmm. This is what The Secret is based off. Think and Grow Rich. That's why I went to this rabbit hole. But as I go up, I go, Jim Rohn, holy fuck. The way he teaches, he's such a poet. He talks about life is like seasons. You got to be ready for your summer, spring, autumn, winter. You can freeze to death in winter, or you can enjoy it snowboarding and stuff in winter. This is like reap what you sow. When the spring comes, you got to make sure you be ready to reap what you sow. This sort of shit I love. Like even my favorite quote, don't major on minor things.
Yeah.
Meaning don't major on getting fucked up, drinking, partying. What you should be majoring on big things that you want. And I love Jim Rohn's way of delivering. And then I started researching Earl Shoaff, his mentor, and I couldn't relate to it. I researched Earl Nightingale, I couldn't relate to it because they were talking in this 1920s that lingo. Yeah. And I just I can't relate. But Jim Rohn, I just so relate to him, his teaching. He passed away recently. I'm rest in peace.
So did Bob Proctor as well.
Yeah, Bob Proctor. And I felt kind of sad for Bob, because his teaching is all about the subconscious, and I felt like he just cut short a little bit.
Bob got me really onto diving into that subconscious understanding
that's the vibration, man. It talks about that,
And I think this is the reason why, because I went from Bob Proctor, and then you actually got me onto Joe Dispenza.
I can't listen to him. He's just too boring for me to listen to. He's very monotone.
See, to me, I love him because I'm very you and me academically are different people. I love science. I used to love physics. I love
science. Just the way you deliver it. I'm like, bro, I'm just you lost me there.
But I love the science aspect, so I'm very intrigued. That stuff, I'm attentive, man.
Yeah. So you're more scientific analysis, where I'm more of spiritual, emotional analysis. Right?
Yeah.
That's why I connect with Abraham Hicks. She's very emotional. Yeah. When she's teaching about law of attraction. Well, Joe's more scientific, so I just can't relate to it. I'm ADHD. So when I listen to that,
but here's my perspective, right, on the reason why everyone should at least just listen to it. Not so much I think his podcast where he's talking and being interviewed by someone is really good, opposed to maybe if you are yourself and then kind of listening to his big long forms. Here's what kind of got me onto it and made me really understand the subconscious on that level. Bob Proctor talks about how to be born born rich or something like that. I think that's one of his books. But there's a chapter in it where he explains we go through the day-to-day thing, right? So we wake up, we have a coffee, we look at our phone, we brush our teeth, we go to work. We spend 8 hours there, lunch, then we go home, see our family again, whatever. Maybe we're by ourselves, maybe we see a girl, maybe we see a guy, watch Netflix, whatever, maybe read a book, depending on what you're doing, then sleep and you go around. And it's the same thing every single day. Now, what happens is that for us to actually learn anything new, or to change the way we feel or think, takes a while for us to really retrain our subconscious. Now, for everyone who doesn't understand this, your subconscious believes anything that you believe, but your body believes anything that your subconscious believes. So this means that if you keep, and I learned this in this chapter, is that if you keep writing, say you want $1 million, right? And this is where you and me are different, and you and me disagree on this, is that you're write something down, let it go. I'm different. I know that every single day we have different people, different environments coming and trying to change our mind, or our routine's the same, or we're trying to change it, but it's very hard. So for me in the beginning, Bob Proctor talks about, okay, every single day, write down, I'm happy and grateful now that I earned $1 billion.
See, this is where I find it like that, for me, that doesn't work as well, because that's creating the friction with the universe, right? Because like when I'm asking, like for example, I did that whole thing where like, so Bob Proctor's teaching is basically on Think Grow Rich, where you write a card on the card, how you're gonna make your money, your wealth, and the time frame, and what you're gonna give back. So basically, Think Grow Rich says like, you write a card, what you're gonna offer, and how much you're gonna make by what date you want to make it, and then you read it over again until you train your subconscious to believe that.
Right? How much time do you spend on Instagram?
9 hours a day.
I know. So I want to go back to this though, and why this is important. For you, Eddie, it's different, okay?
But I tried 2 ways. So I've tried Bob Proctor's way, and I tried Abrahamic
I know, but I'm like, you're not the average person. I'm fucking calling this out, right? You're like, maybe when you were younger, sure, but when you became like the top fucking b-boy in the fucking world, number one, that's a fucking confidence booster. That means that you can do anything you fucking want. How many people in the world become the best in the fucking world? Very fucking little, right? So this is the reason why Bob Proctor, I feel, is great for everyone who maybe is battling confidence and feeling. So when you write it every single day, you're reminding yourself every day, and you're putting the thoughts of what you want into your mind to retrain your subconscious. And you do that, and you concentrate and you focus on that it's like 5 minutes, you write it down, and you're retraining your brain and conscious, right? Now, when I learned that and I started doing that, I see quite an interesting change in my life in a short period of time. But what really made a difference was really understanding it from the scientific level from Joe. So when I started listening to Joe is when you and me chatted about Joe. You got me onto one of his podcasts, and then I went to America for 3 months, and I remember it was in Vegas, living there for a month, and I was like running to the gym every day, and I was listening to his podcast, and just the scientific understanding on how our subconscious really reacts to our mind and brain waves.
Yeah, but also like you got to remember, like if I write it down and I said I'm a 6'2" basketball NBA player, Joey, when I read that, I don't believe that.
Yeah, but I'd also call you a fucking spastic for even fucking writing that, because you're
but like but like there's a certain limit. Like if you believe it, that's what I'm saying. Like the Abraham Hicks is like onto a different level after Joe Dispenza, right? Because like you're creating that, like I said, the downstream swim. If you're reading that and you believe and you have that confidence of making that true, it's gonna come true.
Yeah, but also you're not like, you want to get to a point, right, where, I mean, because I agree with that. Once you like believe it, then yes, it should be like, it's like this. If you are a baby and you start crawling, right, then you start walking. You're not
You're getting confidence.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's law of attraction. That's what I'm saying. Like law of attraction is like training, like baby step. Like it gets easier as I
let's talk about steps then, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about steps. Bob Proctor, write every single day to retrain your subconscious, so then you start believing and you start focusing and start remembering. Now, this is the thing I didn't say. One of the powerful things about writing that down was every single day, people live in a world where they live in a bubble, correct? Now, you talked about before $1 million and you want to make $1 billion. Now it's like, now your trick and you need to grow your feeling to be able to be like, cool, it is like $1 billion, right? How many people live in a fucking ceiling? You know, they live a 9 to 5, everything like that. For them to expand, it's very hard. What I found with Bob Proctor was, when I was writing this down, I'm happy and grateful now that I make $1 million a day. Happy and grateful now that my wife is XYZ.
How good does it make you feel, right?
Right?
Yeah.
But then, after doing that month in, month out, I started to feel an expansion where I was, instead of writing $1 million a day, I was like, I feel like this is not enough anymore. So now I'm like $10 million a day. And when I wrote $10 million a day, I kind of felt like, yes, but no. But I kept writing it, and now I started training my subconscious over
I
a
think
year.
that's the key right there. Like, don't have like a goal that's so high that you get discouraged from achieving it. Because remember, like if I go straight away, I want to make $30 billion by next year. I'm like,
Yeah.
and when you don't hit it, you get discouraged and you start losing. So you're not vibrating that.
Yeah.
So start small and get used to like manifesting. Get better at manifesting first. Small things. And because once you start getting better at manifesting, the big manifestation is gonna come
Because
to
if you get
a lot
a little
easier.
win, then you're like, yes.
Once you start used to the little wins, the big wins gonna come a lot easier. That's what I'm saying. Like swimming downstream, don't try to create fucking
Yeah.
friction with the universe where you're swimming upstream, right? So like to me, when I was writing a lot of shit down, that's creating a lot of from the universe.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
yeah, 100%. If you're saying like, I want to make $100 million,
Yeah,
then
it
you're
doesn't
like,
make
okay,
sense.
cool.
But today I'd be like, oh,
but you're the fucking hot man from like last episode, like you're the hot fucking 10 out of 10 who works at Macca's as a cashier. Like, you know,
yeah.
like you need to have, cool, I want to like double my income next year.
Yeah, it can be like, hey, look, I want to sign 2 new clients this week.
Yeah.
And then when you have that, oh shit, I
then-
want to sign 10 new clients.
But the cool Grant Cardone has a good, I think Grant Cardone as well, let's add him into this conversation, because if you're going to write down like what you want, right? Let's say you're making 50 grand a year, right? 50 grand a year take home. Then what you should be writing down is like, how can I 10x that? How can I make $500,000 a year? Because really, to make a 10x in your income, it might not be your company, like that your job, but there might be some, if you start expanding your mind, well, I want to make $500,000. I'm not too sure how that is going to be, but look, it's only 10x.
Yep.
Let me try and figure out like,
That's going back to that thing where you like have your destination ready. The universe gonna like give you the pathway to it. That way to get 10x your business might not necessarily be how you envision it, how you plan it, how you blueprinted it. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, like when I'm starting my new app at the moment, fuck man, like tech is a new thing for me. I'm so new to tech, right? But how do I, as soon as I put that into the universe, I want to have a tech company that are out of the blue, universe go, oh, meet someone who's in tech. And like in the last 10 years, I never met anyone in tech.
Yeah.
Suddenly I start meeting people in tech. This is where I find like law of attraction is so
as long as you believe in
as long as you
exactly your
believe and it's
destination,
not like
your
against
destination,
downstream, don't try to force anything against your will. You know what I mean? Just even like if the universe takes you into bankruptcy, just understand that's gonna be your path into success.
Okay, we hear about this phrase where you should not tell people your ideas or your dreams. Do you believe that?
Yes, you know why? Because when you start saying it to people, you start doubting yourself. And that's creating again the resistance with the universe, the friction with the universe. I'm like, oh fuck, maybe I can't do this. So I would, if you have ideas and like vision, keep it to yourself. I have my vision board on my phone,
Yeah.
and I don't let anyone see it, because like as soon as people see it, oh, is that your vision? I go, oh shit, now I'm doubting it. This like doubt. I'm like, oh shit, like the imposter syndrome. Like, oh shit, maybe I'm not a fucking billionaire yet.
Yeah.
Right, and then you create more resistance with the universe. Keep it to yourself, and then you can brag about it once you're there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the more you talk about it with your friends, the more you stop believing in the idea.
And I noticed that a lot of people, the more you talk, the less you actually do, because the more you talk about it, it feels like you're actually doing something, but you're not.
Yeah, I still, you know what they say, there's an Indonesian saying, what is it? Tong kosong berbunyi, berbunyi, yeah. It's mainly like an empty barrel sounds a lot louder than a full barrel, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, as you hear that you see that all the time. People just like brag. You go, man, you got nothing. You got no depth. That's why you're selling so much. Mm-hmm. And then the billionaires, they don't talk much. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
And they got so much depth. I don't need to show what I've got. Mm-hmm. So again, I think it's just testament to that. But yeah, man, I live my life through law of attraction. Even in relationships, when I stop looking, they come to me because I'm in abundance. I'm not looking. I'm not creating resistance with the universe. So yeah, like I love this new journey, this spiritual journey.
Yeah.
To me, like when you mix spiritual and like business, it's like, it's so interesting. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
How much does meditation come into your game of attracting? Do you meditate a lot at all? Like what's your role?
I try to, but I'm so ADHD, bro. Like my mind goes 100 miles per hour. as soon as I wake up, boom, like goes. But I think I meditate everywhere now. Like today, I just had a massage this morning. So as I was getting massage, I was doing my breathing, just being more present, and I love that. You know, I think,
Was that at Flame?
huh?
Was that at Flame?
Flame Spa. Shout out to Flame Spa. No, not Flame Spa. I went to Jammu Spa in Bali.
Oh yeah, the one I told you.
Yeah, my favorite.
How fucking good is that place, bro?
How good. It's just Instagrammable as well. Influencer.
The best thing I liked about Jammu is when I first went there is they rub this like it's kind of like this alcohol
Make you breathe
scent.
in?
They make
Breathe
you
it?
breathe it in, so
Yeah.
you get like a little bit high and you fully relax.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever had that before, and also spa, like so many spas. Why do you not have the fucking headrest over the bed? Because my neck, my Adam's apple, like hits like if you stand in the rectangle bed and then they put like the hole in the middle.
yeah.
Dude, my Adam's apple fucking gets
Like
hit all the
being
time.
choked all the
Dude,
time.
I'm fucking dying, bro.
Yeah, this one was like a big headrest.
beautiful,
Jammu.
man.
It's
I love
beautiful.
Jammu. It's
and they
amazing.
put like pillow. It's just so cushiony. I was like falling
Yeah,
asleep a
it's
little
the best
bit.
place. If you guys ever come to Bali, like fucking go to
Top
Jammu.
spa place, Flame Spa #1.
Yeah, and then Jammu.
If you know what Flame Spa is, shout out to Flame Spa.
Shout out Rick.
And #2, Jammu. I went to Body Spa, Body Works. I know
Body Works.
Body Works Spa. It's very like Moroccan style, Instagrammable, very influencer kind of vibe. But the massage was meh.
Meh.
I went to Spring Spa, great. You know, again, quite Instagrammable, but they, you know, it's great. But they're always so busy. Jammu, I would give shout out to in Bali, in Canggu.
Yeah.
We're not endorsed by Jammu, but Jammu, if you need some influencer, comment and give us some free treatment.
We'll do Tequila
some
High Club at
content.
on season 2 at
Yeah, I want to figure
Jammu.
out who's the founder of Jammu. I want to know who the owner is. What's the story?
She's
of Jammu.
Russian.
Is she?
Yeah.
Of course.
One of my friends, Victoria, is very good friends with her. Yeah.
And Jammu is like traditional Javanese, you know, thing, right? I'm like, huh. And so I thought it was like Indonesian.
The way that they built, like she's built the business, has been amazing. So they opened up during COVID here,
Right.
and all they had was like the front room. So you know how you came in and you saw the stairs that went up,
Yes.
the concrete
What's
fill?
upstairs?
They didn't have. Oh, did you go in the?
I'll go downstairs. I
Did
didn't
you go to the
upstairs.
private room? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you went in the private room, bro.
Yeah, I went to the private room.
So originally they just had, so that was blocked off, right? There was no stairs, there was no concept room, just blocked off, and then so you just have that area and you'd have like the shared rooms, and so that was in COVID, and then COVID opened up. She was like consistently booked out non-stop, and then she'd already had ideas to expand, so she expanded that. So now there's 6 private rooms upstairs. But the private rooms are like huge, dude. And
So
you have-
I didn't go to the private room. I went to the downstairs.
yeah, you went to the downstairs one. So when you go upstairs, but she's expanding. She owns the land behind. So if you go upstairs, you see she's building another. Dude, it's going to be the busiest, which I'm
And
stoked
I love
about.
concrete style.
Love concrete, man.
Concrete cactus.
It's the
best
best.
combo.
It's the best.
Yeah, shout out to Jammu.
Yeah,
I'm so zen right now. A good deep tissue massage.
yeah. I need to go get a massage after I got hit by that ban
I feel
yesterday.
like very namaste. But yeah, it's a law of attraction, man. Like to me, that's a life-changing thing.
Yeah. Everyone should, if you think, law of attraction is too spiritual, and, if you're a guy and you think it's a bunch of bullshit, it's not. It's, again, like, I think everyone needs to, because everyone's different. You and me are, like, completely opposites. We're the same on a lot of levels, but, like, we're also opposite on a lot of levels.
Two sides of the same coin,
Yeah.
basically.
And I think everyone needs to understand that it's a journey that you need to understand how to figure out for yourself. So let's give people pointers, because this has been pretty fucking deep, and I think we could just end with this on, here's some like ABCs of basically giving people direction. So for me, I would say definitely, if you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, number one, that's like, I think you and me agree both, that's the first thing you should do.
Or The Secret.
And then The Secret, definitely watch that as
Probably
well.
go the other way around. I go The Secret first, and then Think and Grow Rich
Okay,
after.
so do that. Because you can smash the documentary in 45 minutes. And then Think and Grow Rich. For me, I mean,
Bob
definitely you could start watching Jim Rohn on YouTube.
Yeah, but Jim Rohn is more business development.
Yeah,
and
but his
self-development.
stuff
It's not
that
so much law of attraction.
yeah, but this is all comes into it. I still think his philosophy in life is still very good to relax.
Yeah.
And to just be like, so I think you could, as you're doing that, as you're reading Think and Grow Rich, go watch a few videos of Jim Rohn.
After Think Roach for sure, because you're starting to
Yep.
get into that mindset.
Yep. And then I think Bob Proctor.
Yep.
He's got a number of books. You're Born Rich.
Yep.
That's what the book I wrote. That's a really good book to start off with. Then also YouTube. And then for
Joe
me,
Dispenza.
so for me, it's Joe Dispenza on listening to his podcasts first, where he's being interviewed, where he talks about the mind and how the mind works and subconscious. Then you guys can figure out, okay, is this for you or not? But for me, it helped me to understand from Bob working on the subconscious to go, okay, well, if I keep training my mind, and this is the thing I didn't say, is like for Joe, he explains that when you start telling yourself the same thing over and over and over, you get yourself into a vortex where it expands. And that happens on a biological level. And that biological level is very important, that it turns into energy.
Yep.
And so go from there. And then, so for me, and then I'm kind of moving into, now I'm kind of like a little bit all over the place. I have different ways of meditating, stuff like that. But I've got a really good understanding now on how
I'll go a further level down into the level.
So then you go into Abraham Hicks, yeah.
This is where you're starting to understand where Proctor coming from and Joe Dispenza coming from.
See, this is the thing. I never said this like in this episode, but I started listening to Abraham Hicks and I thought she was
Cuckoo.
fucking too left field, bro.
Yeah. See, I love that because I've resonated. It makes sense because Abraham Hicks, you talk about Vortex. She has a book called The Vortex and Law of Attraction. So this is where it gets so interesting. I go, wow, a new concept, new level unlocked for me, right? As soon as I go from a secret surface level thinking and you attract it, yeah, cool, surface level. And then you go down into Think Grow Rich, gotta believe it, and then Bob Proctor, you gotta build that subconscious. Joe Dispenza, the same thing, like your vibration, You can scientifically measure the aura, your vibration coming out of your body, your mind, scientifically. But when you get into Abraham Hicks, this is her teaching, right? So when you're thinking it, this is where it goes back to all the teachings above, and Abraham Hicks is the umbrella of it all, right? So like, and the way she explains it, and I think you should really listen to YouTube, and I listen to it every single day. So basically, when you think it, what you want, you're putting that into the vortex. So you have this vortex. Imagine you're on DMT, right? You go, when you take DMT, it goes to a different universe, and I feel like that's a vortex, right? So when you have putting like things that you want, you putting into the vortex. Oh, I want this person into my life, put into the vortex. The business, the car that I want, the house that I want, it's in the vortex. Now you have that ready to go in the vortex. Now you gotta act like a radio station where I go, all right, what do I dial in to get that to manifest? All right, like I said, 101.7. I'm 99.3. I'm manifesting that, and that's basically the core of her teaching. And I find it so true. Where I go, all right, what do I need to dial in to get what I want? All right, I need to do this, and I need to like stop overthinking about that, and just like swim downstream more. All these steps, and she teaches all the time. And at the end of the day, it's like she's teaching you. Once you're happy, you're gonna be. It's a lot easier to manifest. And like again, when you're happy, your vibration is different to when you're sad. You're creating a lot of friction, resistance with the universe because you're like, ugh, I'm so unhappy. But when you're happy, like shit is going your way all the time.
When you're unhappy, how do you become happy again?
Well, this is when you start going into Joe Dispenza's or just running it down. If you're depressed, having a lot of anxiety, I would recommend switching that, like training and forcing yourself to think the other way until you start believing you're that. Because it becomes like, what Joe Dispenza said, it becomes your personality and just based on like your habit and all that shit, right? So you're starting sad, but then if you're sad 24/7, you become a depressed person because that's your personality now. So change that mindset, and I think Tony Robbins touched on that as well. Break that habit of being sad. Let's start being happy for a bit. Boy, you've been sad for the last 30 days. What's funny? Let's watch some comedy. Let's joke around.
Have a lull.
Have a lull, and then start changing. Oh shit, my frequency is not here anymore. I'm getting disruptive. I'm starting to get I'm start vibrating higher now instead of like low vibration. And people with low vibration, depressed people, they attract more low vibrational people as well, right? And people with high frequency, they're gonna attract more happy people. And to me, if you're down here, hun, let's try getting you up there, but until you get used to it. Once you get used to it, you're gonna start vibrating. It's gonna like things gonna start working for you. I've seen so many people like, and right now where we at now, people are so depressed, so anxious. And how many suicides have you seen this season?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. Like I lost so many friends this season of just like they couldn't handle it. And to me, that's why I'm adamant. Like, if I know how to reach out, guys, all you need to just like find what you're happy is. Trying to look for that. What I love what Jim Rohn said. If you want to be if you want to be wealthy, study wealth. If you want to be happy, study happiness.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. Do you know what I mean? Like, and people just don't want to do that. They want to study that. They want things to come their way.
Yeah.
And most of the time, things that just don't happen because you're vibrating that subconsciously. You're vibrating with the low frequency. You're gonna get more things. Like, how many times do you see people like, oh my god, it's someone just fucking, I get fucked over by this person, or I just lost money, because that's their vibration. Their vibration low frequency. They're just gonna start attracting all the fucking trauma and drama into their life.
Yeah.
And they get so used to it. Right. So you need to change your habit, change your frequency, and then your life's gonna improve drastically. Drastically. I think that's the key.
I think that was fucking perfect, bro. The only thing that...
And drink tequila because it's a fucking drink that keeps you happy. The only alcoholic drink that's an upper.
Yeah.
Every other alcohol is a depressant. This is cheers to
gang.
high frequency.
Cheers.
You. Tequila High Club.
Tequila High Club, let's go. Yeah, the only thing
What's your I want to know what the viewers like. What's your law of attraction moments? I feel like you have so much to share. We want to listen to it. And like, what's your aha moment through law of attraction? Who do you listen to? Are you more of a Joe Dispenza person, or are you more Abraham Hicks person? You know, how far do you go into this law of attraction? And yeah, we want to hear all that.
Yeah. I think the only thing I want to say is like one sentence is, we're so focused on having like positivity and always like thinking positive thoughts, but have we ever thought about just limiting our negative thoughts? If we limited our negative thoughts and focused more on that, automatically like our
There was a study like what's more effective, like thinking more positive or cutting down your negative thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think the more efficient way is cutting down your negative thoughts.
100%. Yeah.
Because you can have like 100 positive thoughts, and if negative thoughts 1,000, that fucks you up even more.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it just means more work if you're trying to like just make more positive
I think
thoughts.
the best way is like, again, the Taoism teaching where you kind of lose the value. If, say, someone passed away, and instead of going, oh my God, I lost that person, I'm so sad, but tweak that. Change that idea of like, I didn't lose that person.
They had a beautiful life. Let's celebrate
I
their life.
enjoyed that time with that person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm grateful we spent the last 3 years together. I'm grateful she's in a better place or he's in a better place. And, you know, you can always turn your perspective from half glass empty to half glass full. Any condition. Do you know what I mean? It could be like, you can be the worst thing. Do you know what I mean? What you got hit by a van the other day, last month, whatever. Do you know what did you learn?
Yesterday.
You know, I'm like, you know, like to me, my first reaction was I wasn't. I'm like, are you alright? But for me, it's like I just laugh because I'm like, that shit only happens to you. But you're still alive, right? Which is you grateful.
So it happens when you build.
And
like
it creates a story.
Yeah.
Right. The story was you get hit by a fucking truck, and you leap into like running position and just kept running. And that to me, that's like, ah, shit.
Dude, that fucking day. I told my mum today about it because I didn't want to tell her, and I just like I'm thinking. I don't know, bro. Like I've got someone fucking seriously watching over me. Like a fucking entire van hit me on my fucking bike yesterday, and I jumped off my bike and started running.
Yeah, that's his
like that does not fucking happen, bro. And I spoke to someone about it, and he's just like, "You obviously have a lot more to fucking do on this fucking earth." And I was like,
"Yeah,
that has to be that way."
That's what I'm saying. Like if you're grateful where you at now and present, what life takes you, you can have like a short life. and
Yeah.
it'd be fulfilling, wholesome life, or we can have 100 life of torture. What do you pick?
Yeah.
I'll have a short life.
Now, if anyone comments in the puts in the comments saying, well, "Did you just attract a van hitting you?" You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I think you attracted that. I know. I was wondering, like, what's your mindset? Why you attracting that? You must have woken up feeling sad, like as if a truck just hit you, and then you manifested that.
It's probably from us partying the night before.
Yeah, exactly.
I wake up, feel like if I was
To calm down.
Yeah.
There you go. You're attracting that. Touche.
All right, let's finish it off, bro. I think that's good, man.
All right.
That's
Thanks for having me back here. I'll see you.
this is season, yeah. Season 1 finished. Next season, the next episode is my twin brother is in town, and he's gonna. Well, Mum's making him interview me, so he's actually hosting it, and that's how we're gonna finish it off. So,
That's
but other
awesome.
than that, bro, this has been a fucking.
I hope you get
season
a
one.
new sponsor for your shirt because I'm sick and tired of seeing that whole season.
Hit DM us if you want me to wear a different shirt for next
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprise me. We'll strike a
We
deal.
need sponsors. We're looking for sponsors here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Dude, this has cost us a lot of money getting it
tequila.
together.
It's expensive in Bali.
Yeah.
I have to illegally smuggle the Patron last time.
All right, awesome, bro. Thanks, man.
Peace.
And thanks for you guys for watching. We got one more episode next week, which is going to be fucking hilarious. I know, because my twin brother's a cunt. So everyone else, go like and subscribe. If you've loved this season so far, if you love Eddie being on the show and giving his absolute vibes and experience and everything, tonight was amazing. So other than that, adios.